Hello, beautiful healers. Stephanie here with Success from Stephanie with Tuesday's tip. This week, I want to talk to you about forgiveness. We all hear, you got to forgive. You got to forgive. You got to let go. But has anybody ever shown you how to do that? Has anybody ever taught you a system that can work so that you can actually forgive and move on with your life? Well, I want to show you, I've compiled a bunch of different methods from different mentors, and I want to give that to you today. That is my gift to you. So, listen, we've all been hurt. Everything, it doesn't matter how hurt somebody is. We've all been hurt. We've all been traumatized by some external force. But how do you forgive and move on? So, here is my 3-step system to do that. And when I give you this exercise, I want you to start small before you start moving on to bigger things in your life and bigger challenges and bigger pain points. So the first step, number 1, I want you to think of a time somebody hurt you and relive that moment. Now, the catch is you don't want to stay in the pain for too long. You may want to set a timer. No more than a few minutes, literally, like 3 minutes max. Think of it and really sit with the pain. Your second step is to figure out why this created pain for you. Did it make you feel unloved? Did it make you feel unworthy? Did it make you feel devalued in any way? And the answer to that is probably yes, or all of the above. And really, why did it make you feel that way? You want to analyze it. This might take a little bit longer, so you might need a few more minutes for this. And then you're going to do one of 2 things. You're going to try to see things from the other person's perspective. You're going to try to understand why they did what they did. And really find compassion for them in your heart. Now, that may not be possible. I mean, maybe what they did was so horrendous that you can't find compassion for them. The other thing you can do is you can create a healthy boundary for yourself. So let me give you an example of this. And when I say start with something small, start with something small. Start with, I was cut off on the road. Someone stole my parking spot. Someone, I don't know. Someone bought the last of something that you really needed. So maybe they took the last jar of peanut butter, whatever. Start with something small that angered you, that upset you. So let's take driving your car, for instance. You're on the highway and someone cut you off. And you're in shock. You're scared, and then you get angry. Recognize those emotions. Acknowledge those emotions. I was shocked. I got scared. And then I got angry. I was shocked because I was surprised. I wasn't expecting it. I was scared because it could have created a car accident. And I got angry because this person was negligent and could have really done me harm. Right? So you acknowledge those feelings. You acknowledge them, okay? And those are all valid, by the way. I mean, there's nothing invalid about that. Excuse me. And then you think about it for a minute. And you're like, okay, so I was all of those things, and I felt devalued in that moment because I was not seen, I was not heard, and my life was not valued. Now, I can do a couple of things. I can create a new boundary, meaning I can, and what actions I can take. I can maybe scan the road a little bit better, and back off when I see somebody acting recklessly. I can not take that highway anymore. That would be a boundary that you create for yourself. Or you can try to put yourself in the other person's shoes and think of a time that maybe you drove very selfishly. Oh, God, yeah, I remember that time the kids were fighting in the back. They were distracting me. You know, I got to go pick up my best friend at the doctor, and I almost missed the exit because the kids were yelling in the back. Or I'm on the, maybe you were just daydreaming and you were like, oh shit, there's my exit and I got to get to work, or something like that. And yeah, I've done that too. I get it. Sometimes we're not thinking when we're driving. And no, it's never a good thing to cut somebody off. And, in the future, I'm going to be a little bit more aware, and I'm not going to cut somebody else off. I'm going to go to the next exit and safely exit and turn around and go back to where I have to go. Or, but I've been there. I know what it's like. So, you know what? I'm safe. At the end of the day, I'm safe. They're safe. We all got to where we needed to go. And I can let that go. Do you see how that works? Are you getting my drift? Now, when maybe it's a relative that said something to you very young that made you feel less than, made you not shine your light so bright, that might be a little bit harder. Say they said, yeah, you did okay, but anybody could have got on that stage and done that dance routine. Well, that's very hurtful. Say you were like 7 when that happened. It made you feel unloved, unworthy. Feel those feelings. Be in that moment. And now, as an adult, you can say, it made me feel that way because XYZ. And now, as an adult, you understand that Uncle Stan said that to you because his boss was constantly putting him down, because he was so miserable in his job that he couldn't recognize the beauty in life. And it wasn't about you specifically. Or maybe you come to the realization that that is who Uncle Stan is, and you just can't be around him anymore because that's the way he speaks to you, because he is so miserable. And so the next time he says something to you, you say to him, if you're going to speak to me like that, then I don't need you to come to any more of my performances. I'd love to have you here, but if you're not going to appreciate what I'm capable of and the beauty that I create on stage, then please don't come to my events. That's boundary. I remember being 25 and my parents were getting divorced, and my grandfather was saying some pretty negative things about my dad. It was my mom's dad, obviously. And I remember saying to him, Grandpa, I love you, and I understand you're hurting, and you're hurting for Mom, but that's my father, and you cannot speak to me that way about him. If you need to say those things, you need to say them to somebody else, because that is my dad, and he will be my father until the day I die. And you know what? My grandfather never said a bad word about my dad to me again. I'm sure he said bad words to other people, but I had to put up that boundary. But I was 25. Could you imagine if I was 10? I would have never had the audacity to say that to my grandfather. Thankfully, I was an adult. And I could put that boundary up. I understand that he's going through pain too. I understood. And he was able to give me what I needed, which was to not talk badly about my dad to me. Do you see how that system works? Acknowledge your feelings. Feel your feelings. Figure out how it makes you feel and why it really cuts you so deeply. And then try to see it from the other person's point of view. And then you can either let it go or create a boundary around that. So it sounds a lot easier than it is. It's a lot of hard work, but I know you can do it. And in the end, it's worth it. So I'm wishing you much success and much forgiveness on this journey. Till next time, namaste.